Welcome to today's coaching. So, today's focus is for you to identify your customers, aka the types of people who will support, follow, and buy your products and services. So I want you to know that everything you do in your business is for your customer. This comes down to like your promotionals, your advertising, even down to your branding and the types of products and or services that you decide to offer with your boutique. Sales happen when you give your customers what they want and need versus you giving your customers what you think they want. In order to give your customers what they want and what they need, you have to understand your customers and get to know who they are. The type of people you want and expect to buy from your boutique is called your target audience. Now, this goes by other names depending on like who you're talking to or where you're getting this information from. Sometimes a target customer or a customer is referred to as a target audience, an audience, a customer avatar, a target avatar, or something along you know, that line. But those names are all used interchangeably, but they're simply referencing your customers. So your target audience have commonalities that's going to allow you to group them together. And we'll talk about that in a little while. I want you to know that everybody cannot be your customer. So if right now you're like, okay, who are my customers? My customers are everybody, or I'm trying to reach all women, or I am, trying to reach all men or everybody with children. I want you to know that that's not sustainable. And I want you to know that it will hurt you more than it will help you. And I'm going to explain that why. Well, let me take a step back. So now I'm going to explain to you why everybody cannot be your customer. Okay. So when you go to the grocery store and you walk down the bread aisle, right? There are literally, hundreds of types of bread, depending on where you are. And each bread is very specific. So you have some breads that are focused and geared towards people who don't like to pay $9 for a loaf of bread. So you have some bread that's 99 cents that is for those who are looking for, maybe a cheaper bread or um a less costly bread. Then you have some of those breads that are gluten free that are for people who may have gluten allergies. And then you have breads that are low carbs that are geared more so towards people who want bread but don't want the carbs. And then you have bread that's organic, made with I don't know, like spelt flour. And this is for a very specific type of person that may want an organic and more natural bread. So all those bread examples that I've given you, they all target a different kind of customer. So I hope you understand that. If you don't understand that concept, then let me know in the comments. I'll be more than happy to explain it to you a little bit more. So the fact of the matter is that each and every one of those breads that you see, they are made with the target audience in mind. Those bread companies know that just because someone wants bread, when they walk into the store, they're just not going to grab the first thing that they see. And so what do these bread companies do? They make sure to position and market themselves towards the customers that they're trying to reach about like the benefits of their bread and maybe like what their bread is made with. And so the bread companies made sure to make an alignment with the customers needs and wants. Okay, so if we put this into perspective for like an online boutique or even a physical brick and mortar boutique, so your boutique should be geared towards a certain type of customer. This is going to be especially true if you are starting a boutique for a very specific reason that might be personal to you. So, for example, my client that I was telling you all about, that we're starting the lingerie brand for, women who have larger breasts. So we know exactly like who those audience members are. We know that these are, of course, going to be women with larger breasts. They shop online, they shop in stores. They have a hard time looking for the things that they need as it pertains to bras and lingerie. So the boutique that she's building is going to be geared towards those people. We could not say, okay, we're just going to be selling all bras and we're reaching any women with breasts. Because what would that do? That would water down our message of, hey, if you have large breasts, if you have a hard time finding bras that are, cute and sexy, if you have a hard time getting fitted, then, come and check out our brand or come in XYZ. If we were trying to reach everybody, if we constantly said, hey, we have bras, we have bras, we have bras, that's not anything special that's going to make somebody's ears perk up and go, oh, wait, I have large boobs. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? So your boutique should be geared towards a certain type of customer because you're not going to be able to reach everyone. So another example is like if you sell everyday casual clothes that might be more like tight fitting, short, very colorful, chances are there's going to be certain type of people or certain type of women that's going to want that kind of stuff. But those women may or may not be, stay at home moms. The thing that I want you all to know and to remember is that your target audience is going to be who you are purchasing your inventory for, who you are talking to, and who you're going to be serving as you're seeking to build your boutique. If you don't create an alignment with your target audience. If you don't understand your target audience, if you don't understand their wants, if you don't understand their needs, if you don't understand their desires, their purchasing habits, then you're going to have a hard time selling to them. Think about the reasons why you may buy specific types of items that you buy. You buy those things more than likely because you have been marketed to in a way that has made you go, oh, I like that. Like, that's right up my alley. Or, oh, yeah, I'm in this point in my life. I need this, you know, whatever it is offered whatever that's being offered. If you think about, why you're in this challenge, there was something that I said that resonated with you that made you want to take this challenge. Like it made sense for you. If I, came to you and I was like, okay, so I want you all to sign up for my 40-day marketing class that's going to show you how to, I don't know, get an international audience. 9 times out of 10, that would not have resonated with you and you would not have signed up for that. Why? Because I knew that most of you all that are in this challenge are at a particular part in the startup journey and that you need more support. So I made sure to get your attention in a way that's going to make your ears perk up, share information with you that's going to help to resonate with where you are, but ultimately to help you to get to where you're going. So now we're going to talk a little bit about identifying your target audience. So before I start, I want you to know that yes, you can typically have like more than one type of audience that you're targeting. But for the sake of the challenge and just for clarity reasons, I only want you to focus on one target audience, which is going to be your primary audience. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. So the first audience that you target, and these are your everyday people that you're going to be going after. These are going to be the people who want what you have to offer. This is called your primary audience. Your second audience is called your secondary audience. There are third audiences, which are tertiary audiences, and so on. But you're going to focus on your primary audience. Um, I want you to know that the way that you talk to, promote, market to each audience audience will be different. Why? Because they might have different needs. So, for example, myself with my business, I have those who are like those people who are aspiring boutique owners. That's my primary audience. But I also have a secondary audience of people who already started their boutiques, but they did not do it right. So now they got to go back and redo everything. So even though both audiences have our boutiques, my first audience is specifically those who are ready to start boutiques and need help. And then my secondary audience, like I said, are those who have already started but need help. So do you see how the primary and the secondary come into place? So if you think you will have multiple audiences, again, I just only want you to focus on like just your first audience, which is your primary audience. So what you're going to do and what I want you to do is I want you to think about who or what types of people will buy what you have to offer. So at this point in the challenge, you should already know like what your boutique idea is, like some of the things that you plan on selling and things like that. So I want you to go back and revisit that information that you wrote. And what I want you to start thinking about now is, okay, so I know I want to sell this. I know I want to do this. I know my boutique, I want for my boutique to be this. Based on that information, okay, so who is going to most benefit from this? Who needs what it is that I have to offer? And that's what you're going to actually do in today's challenge and really start to think about. So when you think about, okay, so who are these people? Here's some stuff that you need to, ask yourself and or find out about these people. So the information that you're going to find out about your target audience, if you sell specifically to customers. So if you're a business that sells to consumers, and so when I say consumers, these are people that are not other businesses. These are just like, your everyday people who are consumers and shop. So the information that you're going to want to find out about them is broken up really into kind of like four categories. And those four categories are demographics. So who are they? Geographics. Where are they? Uh, Psychographics. Like what are they? Whom are they? Like what are they into? And behavioral. What do they do? So for example, with my client, we knew that for her demographics wise, that we were seeking to target women who are 25 to 45 that live in the United States, so on and so forth. But right now, I'm going to break down each one of those categories. So when you're thinking about the demographical data or excuse me, demographical information about your target audience. So who are they? What age range are there? Please don't say, "Oh, I'm targeting everybody from 18 to 55." That's so wide, and a 18-year-old is not in the same place of life as a 45-year-old or even a 35-year-old. So you want to consider that. I'm not telling you to narrow it in so small, but if you're going to target such a wide age range, then you better know like what the commonalities are between them, or else when you start putting out your marketing messages, the message might make sense to one audience, but not the other, which ultimately is going to fragment your marketing budget and you may not get the results that you hope to get. So, are they male or female? Like, what's their income? Do they Are these fast food workers? Or are these people that might be doctors and lawyers? Or are these white collar workers? Or are these people who are more than likely to be, stay at home moms or sugar babies or whatever? So, like, what is their income? Are you targeting people based on like nationality or ethnicity? Do they have a certain religion? What's their education level? What's their family size? What's their marital status? Are they single, engaged, divorced, looking for love, or just happy being a cat lady? What stage of life are they in? Are they still young and ready to have fun? Or have they had their fun and now they're stepping into a more mature role because now they have bills and stuff like that? Are they renters or owners? Do they live in houses, sky-rise apartments, condos? Like, what is it about them demographical wise? Okay, and so then next is geographics. Where are they? So are you targeting or trying to build an audience and they are in a certain location? It could be a state, it could be a city, it could be a zip code. Do you want to start like a mink coat boutique? And if you do, then 9 times out of 10, you're going to be targeting people who are in climates that are cold to where it makes sense to invest into a mink coat. Are they in a certain neighborhood? This is going to be specifically important, especially if you're trying to build a local, like a local audience around your brand. So psychographics, what are they? What's your target audience personalities like? What are their attitudes and mindsets? What do they believe in? What do they value? Do they value experiences and spending time with family and friends? Or are they all about, investing in themselves and only spending money on themselves? Like, those are things that you need to know. What are their opinions like? What are their lifestyles like? What are their social status? And then the last thing is behavioral. So, what do they do? So, what are their purchase habits like? Like, how are they currently purchased? Do they shop on Amazon? Do they expect fast shipping? Or do they only shop in person? When it comes to your specific type of product, how do they typically buy it? What's going to be the benefit? So, when they buy your type of products, they're going to be buying it because of the what's in it for them. So, what is it exactly do they look for to determine whether or not they're going to buy this particular product from this brand or not? Are they, sensitive to pricing? Are these bargain shoppers, value shoppers, or luxury shoppers? What's their brand loyalty like? Or do they only stick with brands that they know? Or are they open to, trying and experimenting with other brands? And then also, like, what's their social media use? This is going to be important, especially if you're going to be tapping into online, digital, and social media to heavily promote. You're going to need to know, like, where you find these people at, where do they currently hang out, so that you know where to go and promote to them and where to find them and where to start conversations with them. Now, if you sell to businesses. So if you're a business that sells to business, we call that a B2B. You may be a B2B if you offer like a wholesale option on your website, right? Some of you will, some of you won't. But if you do have an audience that is an audience of other businesses, then what you're going to need to define is the firmographics, right? So I already talked about demographics, geographic, psychographics, and behavioral. But that fifth category is firmographics, but that's more so, again, reserved for B2B. So firmographics are the details about a company if your target audiences is other businesses. If your target audience is other businesses, you only need to focus on like the firmographic data. So things or firmographic details you would need to answer about the businesses that you're targeting. So what's their industry type? What's their location? Who do they serve? Like, what is their business structure? What is their revenue? Where are they in their business journey? So now, how to gather information about your target audience. So the best thing to do is to observe real people who are likely to be your types of customers and analyze their life. If you are your target audience, then think about your own life, interests, and motivators. You can also ask relevant questions to friends, family, and on social media to get some feedback. So be sure to ask questions that's relevant to your types of business. Don't just get on there and just asking a bunch of random stuff that you're not going to be able to take that information and use later. So some questions that you could ask your family and friends and or social media or other people who are in your target audience is, Where do you go to purchase my type of product? Or if you sell lingerie, or if you sell, you know, I don't know, high heel shoes. Where do you typically go to purchase your high heel shoes? How often do you purchase high heel shoes? What makes you buy or not buy a specific type of shoe? What are some things that you look at before you purchase? All of those are going to be valuable information that you'll be able to use as you are refining your marketing message and beginning to promote and launch your business. You can also use Google. Um, you can use Google market and industry research. And so how that pretty much works is you will go to Google if you're selling luxury lingerie and you want to find information out about the market, who the customers are, this, that, and third. What you would do is you would go on Google and you would type in luxury lingerie market. And then results will come up. And then what you would do is you would visit those websites that come up in the search results and, just like read through the websites, take notes, and see what kind of information you can get. 9 times out of 10, what you're going to find is that these websites are going to speak on like who these customers are, what customers are looking for, what makes them buy, and things like that. So if you have no place to get, you know, any data or any information to help you start formulating who your target audience is, then you can always turn to Google. So I want you to know that the more information you find about your target audience, the easier it's going to be for you to market to these people, connect with those people, and ultimately make sales. And that's the key to starting a business. We start a business because we want to make those sales. But the key to making those sales is going to be to know who you're selling to. If you're not into, let's say, fedora hats, but you got people walking around, buy this fedora hat, buy this fedora hat, there's nothing that they're going to be able to say to you to get you to buy a fedora hat. But if you love fedora hats, then they know what to talk about, whether it's the brim thickness, or I don't know, what is the material, or how you can customize it, or the durability, then you'll know what to say. So you will find over time that as you do more research about your audience is going to become more refined and defined. Initially, when you launch, you may be focused on one type of customer, but you might find that your data is showing you that you're actually reaching another type of customer, and that's okay. In the first or 2 years, you will probably see your target audience kind of take on a life of its own that you will be able to use to kind of like tap into to grow and scale your brand. So the goal for today is to at least have an idea of the audience you are trying to reach. If you are struggling with defining your audience, please book a strategy session with me. Remember, all my strategy sessions are tax deductible, right? It's a business expense. I'm a consultant. I'm a strategist. You can claim those expenses. Your knowing who your customers are, like I said, is so important because, to be honest with you, that's the reason why a lot of people who are starting boutiques are not making sales, is because they just have a boutique with a whole bunch of products on it, not realizing that they should have started a boutique with a specific type of customer in mind, and then going and taking those products to those customers. So it's so important. A lot of people underestimate it, but I don't want you to underestimate it. So if you need help, then please just book that one-on-one. You can see your challenge welcome email for the link and the discount codes to where you're going to get $100 off your call. The calls are at this time typically like 175. So depending on when you're watching this challenge, my prices may have increased, but you're gonna get a discount. So just go see your welcome email for what that current discount is. So your task for today is to go to the target audience section in the boutique owner planning guide. I want you to read the defining your target audience page for more context and a little bit more information. And then I want you to focus on defining your primary target audience and use the target audience worksheet to write out demographic details, psychographic details, geographic details, and or behavioral details. Now, without getting too far ahead, one of the things that you could do is think about a specific type of person, like the perfect person in your mind that you see coming to your boutique and spending money because they just gotta have what you offer. Think about that person and think about, okay, what does that person look like? Is this somebody that's like heavily tattooed, into heavy metal, you know, owns pets, don't have kids, don't want kids, that kind of thing? Or are you targeting soccer moms who are divorcees and they're looking to get their, sexy back? So I really want you to, again, think about, your target audience. If it's too hard for you to think like on a top level big picture, then think of just like one or two customers that you would be like, oh yeah, that's my type of customer. And then just think about what they like, what their lives is like, and just go back and then start filling in that information. Okay. So I hope you all really enjoyed this. Like, we're getting into the part of the challenge where it's time to get like serious. Everything is going to be building off of one another. So make sure you take the time to think about your target audience, and I will see you in the next coaching video. Bye bye.